Okay, let's do Kosoto Gake from the slide by. All right, so I've already explained the slide by in detail. So if you recall, when I performed the slide by, he might go forward straight past me here, okay? That's one reaction that your opponent will do. But most likely, he's going to spin around and get back into his wrestling stance. So spin around there, right here. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna do a Kosoto Gake, where we're gonna hook his foot. But the issue is, his feet is underneath his shoulders. So let's do a little experiment here. If my opponent's feet is underneath his shoulders, he's in good alignment. Okay, so it's very hard to manipulate him. But if I exert a force, a tremendous amount of force down, and I move him as I exert the force. So right now, Benny, just resist this. Yeah, see how he's not opening his legs? It's really hard. But if I push down and I exert, yeah, stop, freeze. See how his legs are starting to open up a bit? So what I'm trying to do is when I do the slide by, I'm going to exert a downward pressure onto his head and create some type of motion so his feet start going past his shoulders. And we know from our theory in the introduction, if his feet are past his shoulders, go ahead, at least 6 inches, we have attacks from here. Okay, so let's do the slide by, and we're going to do it in a way where we're going to exert force down on the head while we're tippy-toeing or doing short choppy steps towards his back or to his front in this case. All right, so I'm right here, I push into him, and I perform the slide by here, and I pull his head down right here. And I'm going to start chop, chop, chop. There it is, there it's right here. So all I'm gonna do is just hook right here and hook in a direction, pull in the direction of his toes right here. Just like that. This is a tremendously fast move. Typically it's done by chance, but now that we understand certain principles, your percentages are going to get a little bit higher by performing the Kosoto Gake, right? So we're going to do it a little bit slower here. Again, you can typically feel what's happening. If he's going straight through, you're going to do the Akori Ashi Barai, the foot sweep. But chances are, if you're fighting someone who's really good and is always maintaining his position, you're going to go for that Kosoto Gake. Okay, so I'm right here. I keep hold of his head. This is important. I need his head, connection to his head. If I push in, he comes back. Slide by, right here. See how I take his head away from his lead leg? Right here. He is out of position. And now at this point, I can do the Kosoto Gake. Some people argue, go to your resting stance. Some people argue that this is a ASHI Barai. Sure, if you can sweep the foot, it's a ASHI Barai. But most likely, your opponent's going to resist, and it's going to become a hooking action, and we're going to start hopping here. He brings it, yeah, and it's going to be like this, okay? And even if he steps out of it, right? I have a lot of attacks from here. So don't be attached to the finish. Go for the technique. If he gets out, it's all good. It's totally fine. He steps out, no problem. We're going to continue with our attacks. We're going to chain everything together. So foot sweeps, or in this case, blocking his foot using blocks is another way to get into our major attacks. Let's try that again. Okay, so this takes a little drilling. So when I first drill the tie up here, when I perform the slide by here, I push his head away from his base of support. Now he's going to try to restructure himself, and this is where I'm going to do the Kosoto Gake. Typically, as I push his head away. When I push his head away, I'm already hooking, and I'm going to like take him down right here. All right, let's do a actual takedown from here. Okay, so I'm hand fighting. Here, we're fighting. I'm spiraling towards him. I'm right here. Perform the slide by. Here, wait. There it is. In that version, sometimes you can you go into your wrestling stance? When I push his head away, I was so close, I actually bumped his hamstring with my knee, and I could actually pull him this way. That's totally acceptable. Let's do that again. Same deal. You're hand fighting here, punch here, level changing. tie-ups here, here. One more time. Here. There, I'm always putting pressure down here. And of course, I can pick the leg here, or if he starts hopping here, I have a single leg as well. So there's a lot of options from this version of Kosoto Gake.